Hi, thank you. I think we've been kind of building up with a lot of good information here. I wanted to share with you this technology that was created in higher ed over a decade ago called e-portfolios. And I have been in the education space for over 25 over 20 years, approaching 25 years, and I discovered e-portfolios about 5 years ago now. And what is an e-portfolio? It is an online mechanism that is to foster and facilitate students documenting and reflecting on what they're learning. But there are lots of wonderful properties that these e-portfolios seem to possess. One said is that there's a lot of good learning benefits. They've been proven to improve students' metacognition and ownership of their own trajectory of learning, program completion rates, lots of great things. But there's also benefits around people having control over their own content and how it's used. And so e-portfolios can be a place where an individual student learner can hold on to all of the artifacts and evidence of what she's learned. I'm just showing some examples here of where a student can be given a template of a portfolio, in essence some assignments that are created and can be contained and held by an institution, a university or college or K-12 school, and then the student has prompts to put her own data and her own reflections to these assignments. So there's a wonderful, rich experience that happens for students as she's working on assignments, she's putting in response to her teacher's work. She's also then able to put in her own evaluations of the quality of her work and the reflections on what the meaning is of her work. And so these are just examples of the kinds of content and layers of data that go into portfolios. She also can get, for example, feedback to every draft of a paper that she submits, all the annotations, all the feedback from the instructors, and she can actually track and trace her development and growth over the content and the grades and everything she's received in terms of feedback. What she's able to do also and have control over it, and this works particularly well in colleges because we're trying to teach people the agency over their own data and control over their own content, is that she's able to choose what she wants to submit, where a copy of that data will reside and be owned by the university. But she's able to have an underlying private account that is available to her for her entire life, where she can have different course-related content, but also, applications for college, honors theses she's written, which she's turning into a book, all the underlying research of her honors thesis, etc. And the institutions, as a learning community where there can be safe and secure sharing of these kinds of content, can actually better support and educate students who are able to, where they're able to understand what their community of learners and students are actually doing. One of the universities not far from here that was our first customer said to me, we know much more about our students when they get admitted to our university than when they graduate. And that seems like it's a real shame. There is important data that I believe we should be consenting and very cognizant of when we're sharing it for the betterment of a community. And that can be a region where you're trying to link up people's achievements and knowledge to job opportunities, or you need a resource who's at a university for a think tank kind of problem or question. But the individual can also, in essence, have living credentials where they have electronic transcripts and some of the secure data that the other Ignite speaker was speaking about, and own that kind of content for themselves and be able to curate a way to showcase it when they feel it's appropriate with other people. There is great power in also being able to see over time what skills and knowledge we have acquired. And first and foremost, I believe we should share that information about learners back to themselves so that they can be empowered by the information of what they're learning. But there are also benefits at the community level. So thank you very much.